Welcome back to Crawford-Clark Close-Up. It's that time of year again. The prestigious Oscars are just around the corner and the Academy have nominated these 9 feature films for Best Picture of 2019. In this video, ahead of this year's ceremony on February 9th, we're presenting our ranking of all 9 films up for Best Picture in order of our preference before revealing at the end of the video which film we think is most likely to scoop the big prize. Our list, of course, is subjective like the many others on YouTube. Don't forget to have your say with your own ranking of these films in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel at the top of the page. Come and find Crawford-Clark Close-Up on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. You can also drop us an email with suggestions for future reviews on the channel. With that being said, let's get started. Coming in 9th spot is, perhaps controversially, Marriage Story. After the awards and critical success of last year's Netflix hit Roma, the streaming platform decided to add another movie with 2 pedigree younger talents, Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, as a couple with a young child going through an at first amicable but quickly sour-turned divorce, to the films in contention for Best of the Year. Laura Dern as Johansson's lawyer seems to be the dead cert to pick up Best Supporting Actress this year, given she's been picking up everything under the sun this award season already, but that's really the only definite win for this overly long, drawn-out affair that has its moments, a particularly vicious verbal exchange between Driver and Johansson in the second act, and a black comic moment with Adam Driver and a knife that comes out of nowhere, but was otherwise a bit of a slog to get through, despite its obvious realism and relatability. At number 8 we have Little Women, Greta Gerwig's fine adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's familiar novel. There's some sumptuous cinematography and some excellent central performances, particularly from lead actress nominee Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh and Timothée Chalamet, but again the film seems to outstay its welcome a little and takes its time to really invest you in the story. The direction is largely flawless, however, meaning Gerwig was snubbed her directing nomination. The Academy could award the film costume design and adapted screenplay, but it's all the film is likely to gain on the night. Number 7 is Martin Scorsese's first foray onto Netflix with The Irishman. Nominated for 10 Oscars, this 3.5-hour behemoth of a mob movie boasts a stellar cast, including one of the best performances Al Pacino has given since the days of the Corleones, a driving soundtrack, and a welcome return to a genre Scorsese has perfected his artistry in over the years. Whether it will do much business on the night, despite its many nominations, is another question. At 6, it's the surprisingly heartwarming Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi's often hilarious satire on World War II and maturity through innocence. London-born Roman Griffin Davis gives the strongest breakout child performance since Jacob Tremblay in Room as the titular Jojo of the title, holding the weight of the film's comedy and tragedy on his shoulders throughout, and his reactions in particular to Thomasine Mackenzie's Jew and Taika Waititi's breezy Hitler are often very moving. Scarlett Johansson is also fully deserving of her supporting actress nomination as Jojo's mother, an arguably more impressive performance than the one she gives in Marriage Story. It could be an outside chance for Best Picture victory on the night, but it's sadly more likely that this will be another True Grit, nominated for many, and going home empty-handed. Beginning the top 5, we've got a film I would have been convinced before my viewing of it that I'd have at the bottom of my ranking. It's Ford vs Ferrari, known in the UK as Le Mans 66. Matt Damon's the coach, Christian Bale the driver for the 24-hour race, with fantastic editing, an award for which this film is likely to triumph on the night, and an especially brilliant turn from Bale in one of his most authentic performances to date. This is one of the most engrossing of the 9 films in contention this year. At 4, it's Tarantino's most accessible film since Jackie Brown. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the love letter to a time gone by that we didn't realise we needed, and Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio are dynamite together. A serious contender to clean up a number of the big prizes on the night. Remarkably stripped back from the normal excesses of Tarantino's catalogue, just watch DiCaprio in character filming his scene and punishing himself to see just how versatile he really is. In third place, we've chosen Bong Joon-ho's visually arresting Parasite, telling the story of a family on the fringes of society working their way into the family home of one of the richest, using all the tricks in the book to manipulate their way in. You'd expect the protagonist to be hard to sympathise with in this respect, but Joon-ho directs so meticulously and the acting is exquisite all round. It's unlike anything else you're likely to have seen, and certainly one of the real contenders for this year's Best Picture if the Academy members are brave enough to go for a foreign language feature. At number 2, we have the movie that's predicted to sweep the technical categories as well as directing and Best Film, Sam Mendes' experience of a war film, 1917. Hacksaw Ridge and Saving Private Ryan are more recent examples of movies that the Academy has failed to honour with the highest accolade, and 1917 does transport you to the trenches with a terrific central performance from George Mackay and sublime cinematography from the mighty Roger Deakins, who will also certainly pick up an Oscar for his work. Our number 1 favourite of the 9 Best Picture nominated movies this year, however, has to be Joker, the only film of the 9 that felt like we were watching event cinema unfolding. Joaquin Phoenix gives a nuanced, stunning performance as the conflicted Arthur Fleck and Joker. The costume and production design are stunning, the score is haunting, and what's most surprising of all is that the director of The Hangover is responsible for this modern masterpiece. So that's our ranking of all the films in contention for Oscar glory at the 92nd Academy Awards. We think that 1917 is the most likely to win Best Picture this year, but we really wouldn't be surprised if the Academy voters were brave enough to vote for Bong Joon-ho's mesmerising Parasite for the top award on the night. They're a strong bunch of movies this year, each with their own merits, so we'll see if there's any La La Land, Moonlight-style surprises on the night. For now, thanks for watching, and until next time, that's a wrap.